we're gonna try something new. So my wife here has been trying to find recipes because I'm on keto. As you know, I've been doing the keto diet, and to find different things to eat, I'm not really good at. So what I do is I eat hamburgers all the time.
Yes.
She doesn't like that.
And waffles.
And waffles. And we're gonna have a recipe for waffles as well. But tonight, what my wife and I are gonna do, and I'm gonna help her, so mostly my wife is gonna do, is we're going to make
a cheeseburger casserole. And we're going to show you how to make that yourselves. For those of you who are on a keto diet, this might help you switch it up a notch.
In this recipe, we're gonna have only 2 net carbs, or less than 2 net carbs, depending on your ingredients and how you choose to do it. So the way we're gonna go through it is we'll take you through the ingredients and step by step as we're going through it. And hopefully you guys can follow along. You guys try it yourself, and we'll see how it tastes at the end, right? We'll give a little taste test, make sure it's good.
Yes.
All right, so let's get rolling.
Perfect. Let's get
started. Here's my wife's gonna explain some of the ingredients and what we have here.
Yes. So what we have here is we have our hamburger meat.
Most recipes that we noticed were about 2 pounds of ground beef. We chose to go with 2.5 pounds of ground beef. So you can use as much as you want or as little as you want. It's all up to your recipe.
We have our shredded cheese, and we'll go over measurements here in a bit. We have some salsa, which has 0 sugar in it, that we're going to use. We have half and half. No, sorry, half and half. The whipping cream.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so hard. It's kind of late, guys. We have our Himalayan pink salt. This is what we like to use. It's way healthier, and we just love it. We are going to put garlic powder, onion powder, and I like to use steak and seasoning, which is pretty good on hamburger meat. We got black pepper, and we got our eggs.
Okay. So as we go through it, we'll get measurements as we're doing this. So that's the good thing. So the first thing we did was my wife already put on the stove, so that way we could put that meat into the skillet here, and she has it on. Well, she cooks it. Cook it to preference. So this is gonna be the part where you got to figure out what you want. So my wife is gonna cook it to preference, and that's where the ingredients come. You can use your own garlic powders, onions, salts, however you want to do your ingredients. That's what is all up to you. So this is just kind of how she cooks the meat for when I'm gonna eat, and so she's gonna do it the exact same way. And so here's
season to your liking. This is what I like to put on my hamburger meat, but everybody's different. Some of our steak seasoning, and now we're going to put garlic salt. And again, I don't have measurements for this. I'm a Mexican, and we don't use measurements.
And now just stay tuned, and trust me, I'll do a taste test, and it'll be amazing. Go through some of the. As she's cooking that, I'll explain some of what's happening. So, some of the stuff is measured out. We have actual measurements that we'll go through as we're mixing it. Other things we won't have measurements for. It's just going to be something kind of like that. Like the meat, we just happen to have 2.5 pounds of meat. You could use 3, you can use 2, and seasoning is going to be to your liking. So the next part here is going to be, we're going to mix all the ingredients. This is where we're going to give you all of what is going to go into it and how to mix it and start getting it ready for your ground beef, so when your ground beef is done. Film this beautiful lady as we go through the next step here, so that way you can kind of see what she's putting in it. And then make sure you pay attention to your ground beef, so that way you don't forget as you're doing everything else. You could wait till your ground beef's done, or you can do it at the same time. We're probably going to do it at the same time as it's cooking, so just so that way we can kind of have everything ready and prepared.
All right, let's go ahead and start mixing everything. Here we have 8 eggs that we are going to crack into this bowl. We're going to put our heavy whipping cream, and we have a cup full of heavy whipping cream. We're going to mix that into our eggs. And here is salsa, and this is not homemade salsa. This is actually salsa that we purchased. It's locally owned business, Garcia's Kitchen. And this is also 1 cup.
And I actually have the macros on the salsa here. So it is made, has 5 calories per serving. So we happen to have a really good salsa here in town. So if you're from the state of New Mexico and you're doing keto, use your Garcia's Kitchen. If not, and you're in your hometown, just use whatever you have in your hometown for salsa. So we went to the store, got all the ingredients that we needed, and we picked up what we liked basically. And this one was just kind of a new thing, and we seen the ingredients and realized that it was low calorie, low carb, and no sugars and stuff. So that's why we picked this one. So next step, sorry.
Next step, we're going to put cheddar cheese, and we're going to put 2/3 of this into this bowl, and the rest of it we will use later. We're going to mix this now that we put our cheese, get everything nice and mixed. These, my friends, are the best wooden spoons ever. This is, again, what us Mexicans like to use because they're awesome and inexpensive, and they don't scrape your pans either. Next, we are going to season with our Himalayan pink salt, and again, flavor to your liking. If you twist here, should be good. And we are going to put some black pepper in here.
So you put your garlic and onion powder and meat seasoning in the meat, and then in this one you only put your sea salt and your pepper.
Yes, I put the Himalayan sea salt, the pepper, I put the meat seasoning, the garlic powder, and the onion powder all in the meat. And you can put additional stuff as you prefer, but that's how I like to season my ground beef.
Nice. So when you get that fat of your meat, you actually don't have to use any oils, greases, ghees, butters, or anything. Once you put it in, you'll notice that it'll grease up and it'll start getting all that grease. And we'll actually strain that grease out before we put it in that casserole, because I'm pretty sure that'd make it pretty runny, right?
Yes, we will have to strain the grease.
Oh,
okay. It will deteriorate a little bit more, but there will still be some in there.
Okay.
You're already doing it.
You're okay.
Okay. So once we've browned our meat, we are going to take it to a strainer, and we're going to dump out all the grease. And that's important because if not, you'll have a watery casserole, and we definitely don't want that. Stir it up to get all of the grease out. Cut. And now that we have drained out all the oil and the grease, we're going to pour this into our Pyrex.
And we pulled out the baking Pyrex, and you'll notice that the size that we used is one of the larger ones, but we're using that accordance to what we have here. If you use more meat, you might need a bigger one. If you use less meat, you might need a smaller one. So obviously to the size of what you're cooking.
Depends how many people you're cooking for. If you're cooking for a village, you might want to pull out a bigger
one. So.
Bigger one.
Alright,
So now we are going to...
One thing you want to remember is if you want to add anything to your cheeseburger casserole, you add what you want. So if you're a bacon fan, bell pepper, whatever, but remember, the macros won't be the same, everything's going to change. So you're going to want to make sure that whatever you add to yours is going to be what you like to your preference. This one here just happens to be more bland and bare because that's just how I am. But you'll notice that we did the salsa, you'll notice that we did the heavy whipping cream, and all this obviously are spices. So you just remember, keep in mind that you want to do it to your liking.
we are going to do, let's try this one more time here. We are going to pour our mix here into the meat.
So you want to get that mix all over that.
Here we go. Kind of just mix it up. Thank you, babe.
Oop.
And once we get this mixed here, we're going to add our lovely rest of our cheddar cheese.
So remember, you only used 2/3 in the beginning to mix this up. Now that you got this mixed up, the other 1/3 that you had, you're gonna put it on top. And then that's what's gonna be that when you put it in the oven, you're gonna bake and it's gonna come out just delicious. That crispiness. And the next portion, because remember, you already have, the meat is already cooked. You're already made your mix. Your mix isn't something that has to technically be cooked. But the next portion of what's gonna happen is putting that on top, putting it in the oven for 350, and there's no time frame. The time frame is as crispy as you want that on yours. So you'll look at your cheese, just keep an eye on it and check out your cheese. And however crispy that cheese is, and if that's to your liking, that's when you pull it out.
And you can always preheat the oven to not just 350, you can do 400 degrees, 420. Just the higher you up that temperature, keep in mind the faster it will be done, so you do have to watch it. Let's go ahead and pour this here.
Oh, so one thing that we do a lot is I'll think it, she'll say it, she'll think it, I'll say it. And I was literally just gonna say, cooking tip is I hate doing dishes. And so if you do your dishes as you're cooking, it really does help.
Once you're done eating, you're so full that you just are over it and you just want to hang out. So it's really best to wash your dishes as you go.
And so we used we used block cheddar for this recipe. Block cheddar is different than if you had used shredded. Shredded has potato starch, so if you're on keto, you got to watch out. Make sure you don't up those carbs trying to use shredded cheddar with that. So you want to try to stick to the block cheese, shred your own, and so that way you don't have more carb intake than you, or phantom carbs actually is what it would be, I'm sorry. So one thing that you got to realize is there's phantom carbs. So using shredded cheddar has potato starch, using block cheddar you don't get that. So you want to make sure you watch out for that, be cognizant of what you're doing with that, with your cheese. So what are we going to do next, my love?
So this is ready. We're going to put this in the oven. I'm going to leave it at 350 and I'm going to leave it in there until the top layer is nice and crispy and we'll be ready to eat it.
Alrighty, so we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so we've left it in there. Been quite a bit because we wanted it pretty crispy. So because I wanted it as crispy as I wanted it took us a little longer. We actually reheated the oven to 425 to get it there. But look at this beauty. Look how good.
Deliciousness.
Oh my goodness. And for us keto folks, that cheese melts in all that grease, and then you have that layer. We did it in a clear Pyrex, so you could see that meat, the heavy cream. So that's looking so good. Oh, hold that up. Hold on. You got it. Let's see. Let me focus in on that. Look at that ground beef falling out of there. Oh my goodness, that thing looks amazing. So you could put some garnish on it. You could put some onions, tomatoes. Oh, here's one thing I probably put on mine, and I'm actually probably gonna put it on there now because it'll probably cool it off a little bit. Get you some sour cream. Sour cream goes good with almost everything. So I'm gonna throw some on there now because this thing is probably super hot. So I don't want to burn my mouth, so we might as well put some on there, cool it off just a tad bit. Here's gonna be the taste test. So this is a cheeseburger casserole. First bite, first time we've ever tried this. So let's see how this tastes.
Hot.
Mmm. Mmm. Oh, really good. Really good. I'd probably throw some onions on it. I'm not a tomato person, So I definitely wouldn't put tomatoes on it. Look, she's already pulling out of the actual pot there.
Delicious.
Very, very good. That was, prep time was not bad at all. It didn't take us very long. The longest thing we waited for was the meat to brown.
The hamburger meat.
So once the hamburger meat browned, it was...
And that's quick.
Yeah, that was fairly quick. So to put it all
oven
together...
is based off of how long you want to put it in there, how crispy you want the top. But other than that, man, it is amazing, pretty quick, good dish. You can see we filled up a whole sheet here, so I'll be cutting that up for lunch every day. And like I said, look at here, you just amazing, amazing. Look how good that is, how cheesy that is. It's just some deliciousness. And like I said, add some toppings to whatever you want, however you want to eat that. And there you go. There's your cheeseburger casserole. Keto cheeseburger casserole. Yes.
The 2 net carbs, all the fats you want, all the goodness of cheese, hamburger meat. You got your heavy whipping cream and your salsa. You can put whatever you want in it, make it your own. We made it our own and it's amazing.
Gives it a twist on your keto diet, so you're not just eating burgers every day and you're switching it up. So I like to pull up different keto recipes
and try them out, and we'll be featuring them here on the channel. Let us know if you tried it. Definitely let us know if you tried it. Leave it in the comment box below, in the comment section below. And if you have any questions on how to make it, or any questions on anything that you want to know about it or about what's happening, just let us know. Drop it down in the comment. We'll look at them. We'll answer them back. And we thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned because we got plenty more, not just recipes. We got plenty more life to just show you. So
yes.
Thank you for watching. Enjoy.